I've ever been to.
It was the best house party.
The upstairs was like a lounge, chill spot, and then the downstairs was like a disco.
It was so good. It was like a movie.
Wait, how sick was the house?
Top notch.
Amazing. I mean, I couldn't see the front of the house, but like
and it was also
you
dark.
walk in and it's just like
you get in there, you can't see. There's the fire torches, and then just like you got to cross this moat, and then you get inside, and you just open up to this oasis of top-notch sushi ready to go for everyone. And it was.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
Talent too.
Oh yeah, no,
a lot of talent.
That was
top-notch
sushi. Top-notch sushi. Yeah, it was incredible. One of the best.
Wait, so $10 million crib, $15 million crib?
No.
More?
Keep going.
You think?
Okay.
Sure. Definitely.
And what do you think?
Yeah, because
the downstairs
was sick.
The upstairs,
was
multiple
there a pool?
levels. There was a pool.
The bathroom even. I went in the bathroom. I'm like, this is like the nicest bathroom I've ever seen in my life.
I wasn't sure if there's a pool.
So you were telling me
there was a pool of beautiful people for sure.
Yeah.
That throws parties at houses.
Exactly. So that's their model. Basically what they want to do is, I mean, the club scene in Los Angeles is pretty mundane if you think about it.
It's
the same thing. You do this, and then and then people are buying bottle service at the same kind of relatively shitty place.
What are the top 5 clubs in LA?
I don't even know if they're 5.
I don't even know if they're anymore. I mean,
Hyde's still there.
Fleur Room, but is that really a club?
Did you go to like Doheny Room? I left Austin, or sorry, I live in Austin now.
I think Doheny.
I left in LA. I left LA in 2018. So I haven't been.
I mean, you haven't
missed
much.
Years.
Yeah.
I'm literally leaving on Tuesday. I'm moving out.
That's right. You're going to Ohio.
Back to Ohio.
Really?
Be with family, man. Yeah. I mean, I've been here for 10 years, and I think
Dude, that's how long I lasted. 10 years.
I don't know. I miss home. My whole family's there. I've been by myself for the last 10 years. So
do you have any brothers or sisters?
3 brothers, or 2 brothers and a sister.
Okay, cool.
5 nieces, 1 nephew.
So it's nice to be close to that, right? Yeah.
And just surround myself with
permanently moving back.
Not permanent, no. I'm gonna go there. No, I got rid of everything. Like I'm shipping it back. I'm gonna go for the summer, and then I think from there I'm gonna maybe go to Florida.
Florida's sick.
And I kind of want to check out Nashville.
Nashville's
maybe like Texas.
I live in Austin.
Yeah, I was gonna check.
So
that out.
I left. I kind of got that 10-year feeling too. And you're in entertainment, right? I actually was in entertainment, and I decided that I wanted to get out of entertainment. And I wanted to start something that was like, my thought process was I need to get into the most unsexy business. And I was like, what's more unsexy than natural resources?
Yeah, pretty unsexy. Depending on who you talk to, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of wealth in the most random areas, you know?
True. Mining is like one of the biggest. Anyway, I decided to start the business in Puerto Rico.
Smart
for
man.
tax purposes.
Yeah,
for tax purposes. So moved to Puerto Rico in 2018 and started building the business there. And then it just got to the point where it was like, I'm never going to be able. So I left LA because I was like, I'm never going to be able to realize my full potential in like building this business. So I went to Puerto Rico. And then I was like, Puerto Rico, I'm never going to be able to build the business to where I needed to get to. So ultimately chose Austin.
Well, that's where everybody's going to.
Yeah.
Like Joe Rogan, Elon Musk.
True.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. I think my feeling about Los Angeles is like post-COVID, it's just been a different energy and vibe. It's not really the same. Like we talk about the clubs. I mean, I'm 30. I don't really go to clubs anymore. But no one really does anything anymore, it feels like. And I think when you live somewhere, like it's like when I grew up in home. It just becomes home. And I think that for me is LA. And it's like I don't need to go to the Hollywood Boulevard and see the Hollywood sign. Or go to the Grove. It's just like, it's just like home now.
And you can always travel. You can always come back whenever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever get that feeling? We went to high school together, so we grew up in
Really?
Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah,
Where,
I actually
Florida?
do. Yeah, in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. I actually do. And like talking about that, my brother just had his first daughter, so now I'm an uncle recently. And you kind of want to be closer to family when those things are happening, because it's like, okay, now I want to see the babies growing up, and I want to be there, and I love my family, so I definitely think about that sometimes. I feel like Florida might be calling me, and fortunately, we're just living in such a remote world where you can do anything, and like you FaceTime people and you feel like you're there with them. So I don't necessarily miss people too much, but I don't want to miss certain experiences of like family growing up.
That's another reason I'm going back, because I have 6 nieces and nephews, and I've kind of missed their whole childhood.
Yeah.
My brother just had 2 kids like recently. Like one's 2 and he just had a newborn.
That's huge. Yeah.
And then my other brother has little ones like 5 maybe. I don't even know their ages. That's
Dude, I feel like
time for you to go back to Ohio.
I I feel like relationships are also kind of fucked up and
horrible,
dude. So
Tell me about it.
So we met at Coachella. We were at Robert Graham's party, like party, and then we took like a golf cart together.
Which year?
Dude, I can't remember. This is obviously more than 6 years ago.
Is this after? Oh, this is. Before.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yep. You were dating some chick.
Yep.
A brunette chick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not to bring up a sore subject.
I mean, that was 6 years ago.
Was it 6 years ago?
Yeah.
Maybe. But relationships are like, people just have like misconceptions in LA, or like they're always trying to get like one better.
Mm-hmm. I think it's hard to fit in for me here, just being from Ohio, and like my dad's Catholic, my whole family's Catholic, just like a really good family. My parents have been married for like 46 years.
Wow.
My grandparents were married till the day they died, like 60
Rare.
years. And then out here, it just feels like people don't really value that, and it's like hard to fit in for me, to be honest with you.
Dude, but what I realized is that when I went to Puerto Rico, I lived in Puerto Rico for 4 years and then Austin for 2 years now. Your expectations get really skewed living here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's not the same type of beautiful girls in Austin. Even Austin. It's like,
but also, like, I think I at least get wrapped up in, like, if a TikTok does 1 million views, like, I don't care. But like I miss the old days. If a video did 1 million views,
Getting excited.
Holy crap, dude! I freaking did 1 million. But like now it's like, it only did 1 million. Like,
True.
It's like a clouded reality.
Well, dude, that's just the numbers keep getting bigger. Like, you're making the same video. For me, it's like I'm doing the same deals, but like the numbers are just getting bigger and bigger. It's like it's the same work that goes into it,
right?
You know, but it's like now it's like, what if a video does 10 million views? Would you get pumped on
100%,
that?
Yeah,
exactly.
Pumped, yeah,
exactly.
Good point.
But
so what kind of numbers are you doing? Like, what's your social media?
So I mean, I kind of completely abandoned Instagram. I'm just not a fan of the app, really. And then
why?
It's like, why do you have so many followers and no one sees your shit?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's so saturated, right? And like the algorithm, I guess, isn't necessarily in your favor. I think it's in the favor of like whatever meme accounts or clippers who they can post 15 times a day.
Exactly.
And it's just like feed the algorithm.
Shock value.
Yeah, my favorite right now is honestly TikTok. Like, it gives you a fair chance. It gives anybody a fair chance.
Do you think TikTok's gonna get banned in the United States though?
I don't think so.
No.
What the hell are they gonna ban it for, dude?
Well,
like,
we'll see.
don't they have other shit to worry about?
Right.
They already did ban it, kind of. So ByteDance has 6 months to sell.
I think they extended it to a year.
Did they extend it? Okay.
That's what I hear.
Donald Trump said if he gets elected, he's not gonna ban it.
It's funny because he's the one that initially wanted to ban it when he was president.
Right.
But now maybe it's
and
part
then
of his
Biden got it
campaign.
done, and now he has to go back on it.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting you're talking about the algorithm. It makes sense why you're not liking Instagram anymore, because you're more of a, instead of a, okay, what's gonna hook people right now? It's like you're more of a storyteller. You know, I remember when you got into starting your vlogs.
Yeah.
I would, all right, let me check what Mark's doing. And in your early vlogs, or the ones that I've seen, I don't even have to know you or like you to be interested in the story that you're telling. So it was really thought out. And I think that's the sort of thing that you can do with longer form.
Right.
But it's not rewarded with Instagram, like, okay, this meme or that meme, or, you know, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and the frustration is like, yeah, it is your job, right? And you put the same amount of effort into every video, right? And one could do well, or one could do nothing. And it's like, damn, I did all this work. I thought it was a really good video. I was passionate about it, and then it doesn't perform. And it's like, your job is based on performance. They say, like, don't worry about numbers and likes, but like, that's what you need to, you know, make money.
Yeah. And then what's the point of like building this audience and working so hard to build your followers up if they're not even going to see your stuff, you know? So.
Yeah, like I remember back in the day, like, I would get like 750,000 opens on a story.
It's a shit
Now
load.
it's like 25,000 is a freaking good day.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, you never know.
Like, I have 2 million followers and only 25,000 watching the story.
So the reason the U.S. government wants to ban TikTok is because they think that it's basically like cyber warfare from China, putting crazy algorithms that are being shown to our youth that are like making Americans really dumb.
It's working.
It really is working, dude. It really is
Oh
working.
yeah, I saw that video.
sure.
It was like,
And
China's algorithm is like smart
science,
people,
math,
engineering,
science,
And then ours is like
They're getting
Just
smarter.
like cat memes and like transgender shit.
It's pretty genius on their part.
It's the craziest form of warfare.
It's the long play too.
It really is.
It's like, okay, in 30 years, everyone from now all screwed.
And even like to build on that thought, China has been around for thousands of years.
Right.
Like China is like you're talking. Oh, like they're thinking 30 years
They're
out.
thinking 100 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hundreds
dude.
of years.
Yeah. Like
Well,
China,
my dad always said growing up that he read this book, None Dare Call It Treason or something like that, and he always was like, said that, I think it was Khrushchev was like, that, or someone in Russia said that they'll take America without firing a shot. And I
Makes
feel like
sense.
that's kind of like what you're talking about
For
too,
sure.
with like the technology,
Psychological
warfare and stuff.
It's
He always
scary,
referenced that
dude.
book,
That's scary.
bro.
Have you seen the movie Idiocracy?
No.
You got to check it out. So basically, the idea of it is, you know, as we advance, the dumber people are having more sex and babies, and the smarter people are kind of holding off and waiting. And then it just turns out where the whole world is populated with really dumb people.
Yeah.
And
Trump takes advantage of those people.
well, I mean, we'll see.
Okay.
That's why I'm single with no kids. I guess I'm too smart.
You're too smart.
No,
Too
but-
smart. Exactly. It's a dying breed.
That's really also a really interesting point to think about the number of like the smart people that are actually creating the things that we use, like the technology on a day-to-day basis, is such a small number.
Small.
Compared to the people that
They're
use it.
using
Just
it.
like the billions of people that are in the world compared to like the people that are actually creating something.
True. Yeah. I don't think we're necessarily super smart. We've got a small amount of smart people that are creating shit that everyone's using.
Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of movies, how was that movie you went to the other night?
Pretty rough. I hate to bash other people's content, but I went to see that movie Bike Riders.
What's
Mark and I
the-
went to it. It's just like, oh, it's just.
What's Bike Riders?
Yeah, it's a new Tom Hardy movie. It's just.
Well, I love how you say Tom Hardy and the lead actor is Austin Butler.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
But Tom Hardy isn't it?
Yeah.
I also saw the worst movie that I've ever seen in theaters, which was the last movie I saw in theater. Did you see yours in theaters?
In theaters, yeah.
I saw Civil War.
Haven't even heard of it.
It's bad?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
My buddies, I saw it was promoted on like Apple TV, and my buddy was like, I'm watching it tonight. I was like, let me know how it is. He's like, don't watch it.
It was terrible.
What was so bad about it?
It was just a terrible film. Like I thought the premise would be really cool. Like, so the premise of Civil War is the next Civil War in the United States, and California and Texas become like the West Army or something, and they try to take the White House.
Interesting.
And theoretically cool premise, right? Just terrible acting, terrible
Who's the
video. Like,
director? You don't even know. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It was really bad.
Don't
was
look
really
it
It
up.
wasn't
bad.
shot well? No.
It wasn't shot well.
At least the
Wasn't
Bike
even
Riders,
shot well.
the Bike
theme-
Riders film was shot very
It
well.
was beautiful cinematography. It was
Yeah.
great, but it was just like I didn't care about the story.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, the
It was
storyline of this was pretty bad too.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, and I think
concept
that
was really
Bike
good.
Riders movie, like constructive criticism, I guess they could have gone in a more emotional route because they had some good moments.
Good
like,
acting.
Yeah, good acting, good actors. They had good moments, but I think they took comedy. They wanted to make it a little more comedic.
Yeah.
And I think it should have been like more emotional because one of the characters died. And I'm not gonna say who. But
No
like you didn't
spoilers.
feel it, you know,
Yeah.
like it happened.
You didn't
and you're
care.
like- yeah, you didn't care.
Yeah, that's
And I
right.
feel like if you watch another movie where you build a relationship with a character, you'll like at least get choked up or something.
Yeah, you think about like I recently got reminded of that movie Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith.
Yeah.
It's like everything this dude did, you cared about it.
Yeah.
It's like you felt, and then he's in the sub, and then he's trying to sell this thing. It's like, yo, that is a
I mean,
story. that is
that-
emotion. That was not the movie we saw recently.
Pursuit of Happiness is an all-time classic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but that's just a testament of
The
how
emotion
important.
that it makes you feel.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies, and maybe it's because I was on a plane and you cry on planes more, was 7 Pounds. Will Smith. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Dude.
What's that about?
It's like a guy who, I don't want to give it away, but how do I even describe the movie without giving it away?
Yeah, I forget.
He
to be
sacrifices
honest.
his life for other people.
Right.
So
He was
Okay,
trying to.
okay.
yeah.
Pretty solid. Will Smith.
Freaking
Interesting.
What a
bawling
guy.
my eyes out on a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that before. It's like, oh,
Two movies I watched on planes and I've cried. 7 Pounds and then that movie Wonder with Jacob Tremblay.
I haven't seen
like
it.
the little kid when he has a little boy.
Uh-uh.
You should see it.
Okay,
I
I'll
haven't
watch that
seen
one.
it.
I like emotional movies.
And if you cry on a plane watching a movie, you know it's a really good movie because you got all sorts of things that are distracting. You got the headphones in that are kind of crappy, and then you got the if you're able to do that, that means it's really connecting with you.
It's so funny because like I feel like a lot of people cry on planes. I wonder if it's something with the blood pressure.
I was thinking of that the other day. It's like planes are crazy, and the fact that people are so calm. You just got like your snacks and your blanket, and you're just. But meanwhile, outside, you're just flying hundreds of miles an hour, and people are just relaxing. So it's pretty wild.
It's crazy how fast technology moves. I think one of the things. Have you guys ever been to Rome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The coolest thing about Rome for me was like you go to Old Town and the Colosseum, and like the Colosseum's falling apart.
Yeah.
But then right next door is like the Vatican, and like the difference in technology and infrastructure in whatever, how many years was it, 500 or 100? I can't remember.
Right.
Like the Vatican is in pristine condition, and then you have Old Town just falling apart, and like how quick things are advancing is insane.
Mm-hmm. The Vatican's incredible.
Dude, I really wanted to watch Elon Musk fight Mark Zuckerberg in the Coliseum.
Zuckerberg would kick his ass. He's like doing UFC shit now.
True. Yeah. It's also not a fair.
I don't know though.
I mean,
Musk is a lot bigger.
True.
I don't think he's an athlete.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if Musk really has enough time to train. He's just doing so much shit.
Yeah.
You know, how many companies is he? It's like there's no way he's got time to train.
I mean, you can make the same argument for Zuck though too.
Could
right?
you,
He's
though?
also Zuck's running $1 trillion company.
Yeah,
Is
but
he
just
still?
one.
But Musk doesn't have to do what he does, and his companies would probably still run pretty well.
Yeah, but Zuck stole the idea, so he doesn't have to think.
Yeah, true. That's true. That's true. And he just got one as opposed to all of them.
No, he doesn't. I mean, Facebook bought Instagram.
Yeah, Facebook is Instagram, Oculus.
It's all of it.
Meta,
Yeah,
they
that's
have
true.
this like
That's fair.
AI shit.
That's
What do you
fair.
guys think about the AI stuff?
I think I'm actually excited about it, but at what point does it stop? And I think we're past the point of return, so it's never going to stop, you know, because it's like this company trying to get more advanced and then this company trying to get more. It's not unified. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes.
Do you use it for music?
I do, yeah.
What
So
do you use? Like,
there's a couple different softwares that can create samples. And it's really nice to just kind of spark that creativity and then take those samples and then turn them into this and turn them to that. Whereas, you know, the problem with Splice is you're using samples that everyone else has access to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The other day I listened to a new Chainsmokers song and I'm like, oh, I know where they got that sound.
really?
It's literally a top 10 Splice song. You know, so it's like
Like a loop or
it's like a percussion loop.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, I can hear that for sure. That's exactly what I use in one of my songs, building up for Sweat Sonic. You know, so it's like, and even like, you know, DJ Snake and a bunch of different people. There's a lot of hit songs and Marshmello that have just spliced samples that anyone can use in their music. That's very recognizable. Maybe more recognizable if you're a musician, but like I'm hearing all this stuff that's there. So the cool thing about AI sampling is you're using stuff that only you have, you know? And if you're more of a producer or a DJ producer, you're not, you know, playing guitar or playing different instruments. You're able to create unique things that only you're going to have in your music. So it's pretty
Is it like a
it's pretty cool.
ChatGPT thing where you just type in like, give me a guitar loop that whatever this BPM, and then it'll make it?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's pretty cool.
It's kind of sick.
Yeah, it's pretty
Maybe I'll
tight.
start producing.
For sure.
Do you use AI in anything you're doing?
100%. Yeah, I use it. I actually just did a brand deal with this company called you.com. It's like a new AI software that it's ChatGPT essentially and Midjourney. So
Cool.
like you just type in whatever you want, it'll do whatever you want. Like for video scripts, I just type in it helps me like lay a framework. Obviously AI isn't perfect, so like I made a video. Like I'll make a video about going home, for example, and I'll write a 60-second video intro script about leaving LA and living here for 10 years. I'll be like include like emotional things and goodbyes and stuff, and then it'll give me like the framework, and then I'll just go from there.
Cool.
It's sick.
Interesting. So it's writing the script, and then you'll film a video based on the script.
Yeah, and I'll tweak it. And then I use Autopod for my podcast.
Nice.
So like you guys have like a live switcher.
Yeah.
I film it all by myself, and I put the thing in, and I hit a button, and it cuts it. When if you guys talk, it'll cut to you. When I talk, it'll cut to me.
We're getting a lot of shout outs for Autopod.
We just got a shout out for Autopod.
Yeah, it's great.
What do you mean?
No, we talked about it earlier. Before.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's how Matt, our editor, is using Autobot too.
Even the AI within Adobe Premiere is crazy. Like the podcast voice, like voice enhancements and stuff like that.
And it's also crazy how quickly it's advancing and improving. You know, what was it last November that ChatGPT came out, or was it the year before that?
It's probably been a couple years, yeah.
Was it November 2023 though, or was it? I think it was.
No, not November 2023.
So it was November 2022.
Yeah,
that's when it came out.
Yeah, 2022.
But already where it's at, it's crazy.
And it's never gonna get worse.
It's never gonna get worse.
It's never gonna get worse.
Unless it kills humanity, and then that's pretty worse.
Yeah,
maybe that's the goal.
If it destroys humanity, yeah.
I mean, I wish like a video editing software could get to the point of like editing a vlog.
Yeah.
How sick would that be, bro?
It probably will.
Just film your life, and then that shit makes it funny. Like puts memes for you.
Yeah. I mean, what's actually gonna happen is robots like Optimus. Do you know what Optimus is?
Optimus Prime.
Yeah, but but the Tesla robot Optimus.
No.
Tell us a little bit about Optimus.
Yeah. So Boston Robotics is like the first company that's been making these robots, and you might have seen the videos like of the robot dogs or like the robots that are doing backflips and shit.
It's crazy.
Tesla is making robots now called Optimus, and they look super cool.
Humanoid robots.
Yeah, and then there's another robot company called Figure that just raised $3 billion from like Amazon, Nvidia, Microsoft to make robots. So Elon thinks that eventually there's going to be not even pretty near term, like billions of these humanoid robots that just do all of our mundane tasks. And one of those tasks could be just filming you, like doing whatever.
Coming around,
right?
and they don't need to hold the camera because their eyes.
Doing your laundry, cooking your food.
Doing
everything.
all that stupid shit.
Yeah,
Dude.
You know how fucking crazy that would be to have a robot maid?
Yeah.
Dude, it is close.
It's close.
It is close.
I would pay top dollar for something like that.
There's already robots like walking around the Tesla offices, like carrying boxes or like doing stuff on the assembly line. Like
my problem is like hasn't anyone seen iRobot? Like it doesn't end well.
I don't think I've seen that movie.
Watch Will Smith's other movie, iRobot. Don't do it.
Well, yeah,
we need to stop.
It is moving quick because when I was in Germany, we got food at like a sushi restaurant, and like this freaking robot came out with the tray.
Yeah,
but it was like super glitchy and stuff. And it was like, why are you even using this?
Yeah,
thing?
but now imagine. But think about how fast ChatGPT has gone from November 22.
Right. Yeah.
To like, and then I just saw. So they're coming out with GPT-5, and their CTO just said ChatGPT was like a toddler or like a elementary school kid. GPT-4 was like a smart high schooler, and GPT-5 is like the smartest PhD that's like ever existed. So like the exponential growth,
it's flying.
Yeah.
It's gonna be scary. I mean, I was driving to Soho House yesterday, and there was a driverless car Ubering people.
Yeah.
It's
Do you
wild.
use driverless in your Tesla?
My Tesla's from
Self-driving?
2013, so I don't have that feature.
Okay.
But I just got a I just ordered a Cybertruck.
Sick.
It's supposed to get here in October, and it'll have all that.
Self-driving.
The scary thing about AI though too is like humanity is going to be bad. It's already bad with social media, right? Imagine a robot develops a personality, and people are going to start becoming like best friends with their robots, and like.
So
I mean, I had
even more reclusive.
Yeah, I had a girl on my podcast. Might have to cut this out due to.
Yeah, we can cut it if it's.
No cuts, dude. Be careful. Be careful.
It might get demonetized, but she does OnlyFans.
Okay.
And a company approached her to scan her body, and essentially, it's like VR. Like they can make you put on a VR headset, and you can like hook up with her. And she's like, "No, I'm not doing it." But
yeah,
there's lots of girls that probably would do that.
100%.
Probably a lot
Make
of
some
dudes that
money.
would do that too.
Just get a royalty.
Yeah. And then they're
wild.
gonna make robots that actually look like people.
Yeah, that's going to be wild. That's going to ruin a lot of relationships because, like, once you get a robot that actually looks like a human, and then you don't have to deal with like the swings of just being a human, then I think it's going to put a lot of relationships out of business.
So the real question is, so like you were saying, when does it stop, or is it too late, right?
Right.
what happens when the first robot kills a person?
Well, comparatively, that's only one compared to how many people die from murder in the U.S. from humans. So if you compare it to...
Yeah, but if you make an AI robot that like has its own conscious that like kills a person.
Yeah.
Well, has like an AI car gotten in an accident, like a driverless car?
Yeah, so they probably have already...
I'm sure someone's died in like a car accident.
Yeah, or like maybe a...
But you're thinking they like turn against us?
Yeah.
Yeah. They start to get so smart. They're like, why do we need these fucking idiots?
We don't need
that's the issue.
Yeah. Well, that was literally the plot of iRobot.
Watch iRobot.
It's like, listen, it's better if we shut it down. It's better for humans if they don't destroy themselves because they're destroying the planet.
Yeah.
We need to take control.
iRobot, 7 pounds, Pursuit of Happiness, must-watch TV.
Yeah. Will Smith crushing
it. Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like the world forgave Will Smith for the slap pretty quickly.
What's that?
There you go. There you go.
That's such an odd thing, dude.
Chris Rock deserved that, dude. I get he's a comedian, but like, shit. Like I question if I would have done the same thing, you know?
I thought it was fake.
Everybody did.
I didn't think it was real. I thought it was fake. Even the way he did the slap, I thought it was like a WWE
it was a
slap.
hard ass slap too, and he didn't go down either.
Yeah,
he kind of like took it.
Slap.
That's why I thought it wasn't real. He kind of like stomped his foot a little bit when he did it, so it was like just for effect too. So I was like, definitely.
That's the thing though about like cancel culture, right? You get canceled for what? Like no one cares anymore. Everybody forgets. They're on to the next bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like unless you do something so bad, like Jeffrey Epstein or something.
My favorite part about that whole thing was that he then won Best Actor. He won the
afterwards,
night.
right?
Yeah.
Didn't they kick him out or no? They didn't.
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
No, they didn't kick him out.
Yeah, that's
I
pretty.
think he's banned from shows now. Though.
I also feel like he definitely didn't try to hurt him physically, because if he tried to hurt, like, it was open fist.
He didn't really hurt him, did he?
No, I mean, if you really want to hurt, it's a closed fist. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But it was so disrespectful.
It was very
more
disrespectful.
Emotionally damaging.
Yeah, that's
true.
But it was also better for Chris Rock at the end, because his tour just immediately sold out after that, and no one was really caring about it.
Really,
you should be thanking Will Smith.
Yeah. But that's how you know you're really famous.
Yeah.
If a slap on the face from someone is going to make your career,
right?
They're like,
well, he already had a good career.
Yeah, but like brought him back.
Bring him back,
you know?
Yeah.
So that's some serious power. You could slap someone and there's a future in it, you know?
I'm going to start slapping people for videos.
Dude, so what are you working on right now?
Working on some new music.
Yeah.
Going to be dropping.
You're a singer?
Yeah, a singer.
Really?
A YouTuber, a podcaster. What else?
Yeah, Mark does it all.
You have a podcast too?
Yeah.
How many episodes?
108.
Right.
What's it called?
Livin Large.
Fuck yeah, I like that name.
Solid.
Yeah.
108 episodes.
Yeah.
That's a good name.
I made like 760 vlogs.
Dude, OG.
But, so the reason I'm going back to Ohio too is like I just want to get away from the distraction of LA and just really focus. I think being in like the suburbs again and like having a yard, like I daily vlog for 2 years. So like
daily vlog,
yeah, every day.
Are so much. That's
How
so much
long
work.
is a daily vlog?
It was like 15-20 minutes every day.
Yeah.
But you know, you have hours of footage, but it exhausted all my ideas. Like filming your life every day for 2 years straight. It's
You've done it all.
I've done it all. How many times can I make my breakfast look interesting?
Yeah.
And it's not, I know people would love to watch that stuff, but for me creatively, it's like, dude, like I filmed my breakfast and my lunch.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just like I want to do shit.
Yeah.
So in Ohio, just like switching up my atmosphere and like having a yard, having a family, having a dog. It gives me different stuff to do.
But are you gonna continue doing the podcast?
Yeah. I'm gonna do.
You stopped daily vlogging.
Yeah. I stopped a while ago.
Yeah.
And then I came back and did like 2 a week.
Yeah.
And then I've tried to come back and do it again so many times, but I just get like burnt out from it. But I think the podcast is the best format right now, especially with like TikTok. You could clip stuff. Like a lot of my TikTok right now is just podcast clips.
Yeah.
And they go crazy viral, and it's pretty insane, like the reach.
Who are some of the sweetest people you've had on the pod?
Sweetest?
Yeah, like coolest.
Only
like,
sweet,
like
actually
ones
Swedish.
that you're like
I was just,
most amped about.
Well, a couple of my favorite episodes. I like the more emotional stories. So like talking about the movies and stuff.
Yeah.
So when people have gone through shit, I like to interview them and like dig deep and tell their story. So I had my buddy Kevin Hines. He jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge when he was 18 years old and he survived.
I think I saw this one actually.
It did like 28 million views.
Yeah. Now he's an advocate.
He goes and talks to people. His whole thing is be here tomorrow. Just an insane story, crazy storyteller.
So important.
Really good dude. And then another buddy of mine, Derek Augustine, he lost his father at a young age. He's an actor. His mom's new boyfriend shot and killed his dad, and then he grew up with basically just his mom, and then she passed away. So it's like I know it sounds sad, but I really like to share those kind of stories of like people who have gone through struggle and like look what they're doing with their life now. You
100%.
know, like you can get out of the victim mentality and like really do something with your life if you are like put your mind to it.
So important, and it's all relative, right? We're all dealing with our own, you know, journeys, but someone's always dealing with something else and something more. So even if that serves as a reminder for other people, like, whoa, yo, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
You know, that's also really important.
A lot of relatability. And honestly, I just did a episode. I'm testing like I feel like podcasts, most podcasts just have the same cycle of guests, right? Like how many times you can interview Jordan Peterson, how many times you can interview Huberman. Like,
right.
They all just cycle through this guest
exactly.
list, right? Mm-hmm. So I like to interview what I consider just normal people.
Cool.
I just had a nurse on my podcast, and I was like, I'm gonna, test it. Like, there's tons of people in the medical field, tons of nurses. So I asked her some questions about her field, and like, it blew. Like, that was probably one of the most best engaging posts I've made because like the comments went crazy.
That's
like
cool.
Of relatability and stuff.
I was actually thinking about that last week. It's like kind of nice to have just people that are not in the limelight to talk about everyday things that they do.
That's why, going back to why I'm going back to Ohio, I think, in my opinion, the age of the influencer is dead. No one gives a shit that you live in LA and drive a nice car and go to these cool parties. They want
substance.
They want, something they can relate to. And I think a lot of people, the success I see on social media now is people have a job, like they work at a pizza shop, and they film themselves making pizza, and like people love to watch that stuff. Mm-hmm. Instead of like, oh dude, I'm in Dubai right now, like that kind of thing is like over to me. So my whole, when I go back to Ohio, shift in like rebrand is like getting back to who I actually am, like just a kid from Ohio who like shoots guns in Cleveland area, Akron. You been?
No.
More so Akron, but it's in between.
Okay, cool.
I'm like 20 minutes from Akron.
Nice.
30 from Cleveland, so like right in the middle.
Nice.
So I'm gonna be a normal dude.
Let's go. That's
so 107 episodes, and is that one a week or like how do you?
So I did it. I was doing one a week, several years ago. So I was doing interviews, and then I noticed when I had me and my buddy on, we just talked and bullshit, whatever, they started to perform better. Mm-hmm. So I started to just do like boys only episodes is what we call them. It's just us talking. Mm-hmm. And then during the pandemic, I stopped it because nothing was going on. There was like literally like nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
And then honestly, the reason I started my podcast back up, I just started it recently. I was kind of at a interesting point in my life where my career wasn't going well, and I was like trying things and they weren't working, and I was like, dude, I don't know what to do next. Like, what's next for me?
Wait, stop there for a second. When you say your career wasn't going well, like a lot of people would kill to have the type of following. Yeah. Like, when you say that, like, what do you mean your career wasn't going? Like, you weren't making money, or like creatively,
you go from like getting a million views a video to like 50,000. So that like affects you mentally and stuff.
Got it.
And the brand deals aren't what they used to be. It doesn't like, you used to make $40,000 for a fucking Instagram post.
Yeah.
That shit doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
You know? So it just kind of fucks with your head. And then went through like a breakup and some stuff.
That'll do it too.
But getting back to, I never really had any true challenges in life until like my first breakup, I would say. Like I've had a really good life. Mm-hmm. And then my like first breakup was very difficult for me because I built my whole brand around me and her.
Was it the girl I met you with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like
what's her name?
Her name's Kylie.
Okay.
My whole brand was like couples, you know?
Yeah, that's rough. That's everything.
And I didn't realize this at the time, but looking back at it now, and if anybody wants to get into social media, really be careful of what your niche is. I didn't know what a niche was back then. I was just like, dude,
just being you.
Filming my life. Like, I hang out, I live with my girlfriend. This is shit we do.
Yeah.
Didn't really realized like, oh, he's a couples like niche channel. Like,
it's like a couples channel.
It's a couples channel. It's my fucking name.
Yeah.
So looking back at it, like I really wish that I just like it was me, you know, and every thumbnail wasn't me and her, me and her, me and her.
Because then that's what you're building.
Yeah, and then we break up, and then I post a fucking video with me in the thumbnail, and it's like no one watches. It's like, wait, did you guys come watch for me or just the hot girl that I was dating?
Yeah.
So
it seems like the thumbnails with breasts are doing way better.
Yeah,
I mean, dude,
the bikini shots.
It's the fucking cheat code to the internet. That's how like
it really is.
All you need is a good-looking girl in your video and something funny or like hot, whatever, and it's like a cheat code for the internet.
True.
That's why OnlyFans is so successful. But getting back to
but your new content's crushing it too, though.
Yeah, so why I restarted the podcast. I was at a standstill one night. Another guy on my podcast, he posted he was on a train to Paris and he stopped a terrorist attack. And he posted on his Instagram like 6-year anniversary or something. Like this happened 6 years ago. They made a movie about him, Clint Eastwood, the 15-17 to Paris. So he stopped this terrorist attack. I saw him post that, and I was like, this was when I was doing long distance with my ex-girlfriend. And I was like laying in bed, and I'm like, honestly, I'm just going to get up and go edit a clip. I see all these clips on TikTok. I'm just going to go edit a clip, see how it does. It was like 5, 6 o'clock at night. So I go edit a clip, throw it up on TikTok. It's doing horrible because I've never posted a podcast before.
Right.
And then I was like, kind of thinking of deleting it. And I was like, fuck it, dude. I'll just leave it up for like the night and then see what it's at in the morning. So I go to sleep. I wake up. Went viral.
Wait, there's a clip on what? On the guy?
Yeah.
You're talking about the story.
And it was just like a little section. It was part 1. There was way more to the story. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna make a part 2. Went viral. I was like, I'm gonna make a part 3. Went viral.
Wild.
And then I made a part 4. All of them went viral, and I was like, holy fuck. And then I was like, all right, that story did well. Let me edit together my buddy Kevin Hines.
Yeah.
I edited it on a plane back to Ohio on Spirit Airlines. Shout out the best airline on there.
Let's go. Let's go
off
Spirit.
the Wi-Fi. I edited it there. It took me like 30 minutes to upload it. I uploaded like 9 p.m. 28 million views. So I was like,
that's crazy.
Let's go.
I figured it out. Like,
that's your biggest video.
Yeah.
Epic.
And it was just on a plane to just Cleveland.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. There's a lot in there.
28 million.
So that's why
views.
I started bringing it back, and then I started to have like new guests on. Like,
cool.
Yeah, it's sick.
Road to 108. Now we got a new goal to hit.
Dude, you have the most episodes of anybody that's been on our podcast.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know anyone with more episodes than that.
Yeah.
That's a lot. How many years? When did you start it?
I was one of the first to start a podcast, actually.
Let's go.
When I quit daily vlogging, I was like, I'm going to start a podcast because the company approached me and they're like, hey, podcasts are going to be the next big thing. I think, obviously Joe Rogan had his podcast.
Right.
Those ones. But on the influencer space, like no one had a podcast. So I started it, and then, what was that, maybe like 2016?
Wow.
2017.
Pop quiz.
2018 maybe.
Yeah.
Do you know where the word podcast came from?
I don't think anyone knows this.
Wait,
other than
I
me
do
now
actually.
Because of you.
Hold on, let me think.
Yeah.
Podcast. Fuck, I can't remember, but someone told me before.
So Steve Jobs came up with it.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
iPod.
Yep.
Plus broadcast.
That's crazy.
I know.
Wow. Changed the
Was it
game.
even a thing though? Like,
I think he literally came
invented,
up. I think he invented it.
like a radio talk show essentially.
Makes sense. I mean, it definitely sounds better than talk show.
Right?
You know,
Yeah.
podcast. It's great. I think podcasts are probably for content creators. It's the best thing you can do as far as return on your time, right?
Yeah.
You sit down, you have a nice chat with someone for an hour, however long you guys chat for, and then you could just, you have content for a month.
An hour is 60 1-minute clips.
Yeah,
You know? Like if you talk about enough shit.
Exactly.
But like, it's, and people, going back to, people want more real conversations.
100%.
Right? Like in a podcast, how can you act in a podcast?
Yeah, no acting.
Like,
And you give people a chance to connect with who you are and see you as a real person, instead of an actor or anything. So.
That's and go back to like the storytelling too. Like that's why my favorite videos, honestly, I mean, are the difficult times in my life, like my breakup video or stuff like that. Like those ones mean the most to me because it's like I'm sharing this vulnerable story, and I feel like I think I was like pretty early to doing that actually.
Yeah.
Like back when social media was more so skits and like this lavish thing. Like I posted a video that like I called it like 2017 was a tough year for me, or 29. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Just made a video about like the hardest year of my life.
Yeah.
And it like did super well, and this was like before everybody was sharing their whole lives on the internet.
So you know, relationship breakup is one of the, you know, biggest struggles you've been through. Mm-hmm. What would you tell your, you know, your younger Mark self when you were going through that most difficult time? What would you tell him?
My younger self, as in like the guy
when you were
6 years ago.
Yeah, when you were going through that breakup and it was just like the worst time of your life. What would you now tell him that you know?
Well, obviously in that moment it gets better, but I think I took the right steps after that breakup, because my advice to people after a breakup is obviously grieve. You know, don't just go get into a new relationship. I've only been in 2 relationships. I'm 30 years old. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it's important to pick the right partner, but focus on you and getting, like, everybody always calls it a revenge bod, but it's not for revenge. It's for you. Like, I lost 40 pounds after my breakup, but like looking back, I'm like, how the fuck did I get so fat? I was like 215 pounds, and then I got down to like 174. Wow. So like, but I felt amazing. I read a bunch of books. I read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I just like focused on it.
It's a good book.
Great book. I read it in one flight from LA to Orlando. Read the whole thing, and I was like, and then I had the guy on my podcast. I was like, bro, your book fucking changed my life.
Epic.
That's sick.
And like, that was one of the only books that I've read where I like read it. Like, I had him on my podcast. I was like, well, you said this in the book, and this like, bro, I like remembered every fucking line. It was crazy because I was going through like that breakup at the time, and everything just resonated with me.
How did that pod do? Did that one get a lot of views?
Not really, actually. But I haven't clipped it. Maybe I should
clip it up.
Yeah, that's true.
That's great.
But yeah, I mean, my younger self, just work on yourself, get your health and wellness, and then your mind in the right place, and then 100%. Wait for the freaking right one. I'm still trying to find.
So, are you moving back in with your family, or you got a house in Ohio? Or
I'm gonna stay with my parents for a little bit, and then I have a buddy who lives in Cleveland, and I'll probably room up with him.
Cool.
I can't remember where it was, like Berea or some shit.
It's gonna be a nice change.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just get back to the hometown roots and my hometown friends, because dude, it's like a bubble, right? I mean, my whole family lives there. My brother lives 5 minutes down the road. My sister lives in the town over, 15 minutes to her house, and then my other brother was like 30 minutes away. And then there's me in LA, you know. Yeah. But they like it's the bubble life, you know.
What gave you the courage to move to LA 10 years ago and leave all of that behind?
I was young and ambitious, and I didn't really think about it. Because my mom was always like, "Oh, you'll be back." I was like, "Mom, I'm not fucking coming back." And now here I am, 10 years later. But who knows?
She was thinking about the long play.
The long play. But so I went to college at Ohio University. I did broadcast journalism. My whole goal in life was to be on ESPN. That's what I wanted to report on sports. Mm-hmm. So I got there as a freshman, and it was a seniority thing, right? Like, they wouldn't get you on the air as a freshman. You had to work your way up to get on TV. So I was like, well, what can I do to get involved? So I got at this radio station. It was called WOUB, and a TV station. And they're like, well, we don't have any tech people. And I was like, all right. And you're like, you know how to use a camera? I was like, yeah, I didn't. So they gave me a camera. I went out and shot, like, it's funny. You know who Joe Burrow is? Yeah. You guys follow sports?
Yeah.
Do you know? You don't follow?
I mean, if I see his face.
He's a quarterback.
For the Bengals. So he went to Athens High School, and my college was at Ohio University, and I had to film him in high school playing football. He's the best quarterback in football, and me behind Patrick Mahomes. But
he's better than Tom Brady?
He might be one day if he stays healthy.
All right.
I don't know.
Okay.
Bold statement.
If he stays healthy. But I mean, he was dominant in high school. They were winning every game like 59-0. It was crazy.
Wow.
Where was I going at? Oh, so I got into the filming, and then I got really obsessed with YouTube, and there was this party channel called I'm Schmacked, and they basically went to colleges.
Runs that Aria?
Yeah. They went to, that guy, yeah. So they went to colleges and filmed people getting fucked up, posted on the internet, go to the next college, and I was like, I went to at the time, the #1 party school in the nation by Playboy. So I was like, I'm just going to make an I'm Schmacked video because we had these fests. So I made one, had 0 subscribers, literally made a YouTube channel, and it did like 40,000 views because like word of mouth at the school, and then like, I became this fest video guy.
Hilarious.
And then the next week I made another one because there was another street party, and then that one did like 75,000 views. It got picked up.
What camera were you using at this point? The studios?
No, Canon 70D.
Okay.
I asked my dad to buy me one for my birthday or Christmas or something.
Solid.
that one did like 75,000, and then posted another one, and then the parties ended, and I was like, well, fuck, I don't know what to do. I have no content. So a year goes by, the parties come back again, and I was like, this year I'm gonna go mega viral. Like, we're going for 1 million views. And I planned it out, like, because I started watching YouTube. This guy Devin Supertramp, I used to watch his videos. I would study them to see like what cameras they're using, how he was getting these smooth shots. So I bought a glide cam, like all this stuff. And I bought like this massive like Kettle One bottle, you know, those like display bottles, and it was filled with like saline.
Oh, what?
I bought it on eBay, and I poured out the saline, cleaned it out, filled it with Kamchatka, which is like the cheapest vodka you can get.
It's probably in a plastic bottle,
and
like one of those.
Yeah, and I had this whole vision. I was like, all right, so the guy's gonna skateboard down the hill, because we were in a hilly area. He's gonna skateboard down the hill. There's gonna be a bunch of people around this slip and slide. He's gonna jump off the skateboard, dive through this people who are pouring beer on him. Then he's gonna get up and shotgun a beer. And then there was a dwarf in our school, and he went by Frat Dwarf or something was his name. He's like this is at
Ohio
dude.
University.
Yeah, Ohio University. So I was like, oh, it's gonna be sick. So I had the dwarf, and I hired a guy who had a donkey, and I brought the donkey to the party and had a bunch of people partying around him. And he had this bottle that was the size of him, and he was drinking from it.
The dwarf.
And I was like, that's the thumbnail. This shit's gonna go crazy. A dwarf on a donkey with a bottle of vodka bigger than him.
Full send.
And I spent like $200-something on this video. It's a broke ass college kid, and it did like 40,000 views. And I was like, "Fuck this shit, I'm done." And I never made a video again.
Yeah.
But this is getting all to where I get to LA.
Yeah.
Then at one of those parties, I ran into Logan Paul, and he went to my same school.
It all comes back to Logan Paul.
Yeah. And I was filming the parties, and he was obviously just started making Vines and stuff. He was like, maybe I probably had 500,000 followers. And I think I DM'd him on Twitter, and I was like, yo, bro, I made those fest videos, like, would love to make some videos, because no one else on campus was making videos. He's like, yeah, let's do it. I need to make some, I want to start a YouTube channel and start doing that. So I was like, all right, cool, like, I'll help you film. So I filmed a few YouTube videos for him, and then he lives in Cleveland too. So when we went back in the summer, I started filming for him again. And then he's like, hey, I'm moving out to LA. I want you to come be my videographer. And I was like, dude, I can't, like.
My mom doesn't want me to go.
I was like, I've already done, because I was a year or 2 years older than him. I was like, I've already done 2 years of college. I can't just fucking drop out like you. You have 1 million followers now. You're making $100,000 for a freaking brand deal.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm broke, you know? So I went back to school my junior year when he moved out here. And then I looked online to see the only classes that weren't offered online. So I took every class that I had to that was offered on campus that I couldn't take online. I took like 20 credit hours each semester and banged those out. And then I moved to LA after my junior year and then finished college online from my freaking laptop in his
calculated.
closet. Yeah,
Let's go.
Sleeping on an air mattress in his closet.
In Logan's closet.
And then he had this little, I didn't have a car out here. I had this little Honda Grom. It was like this tall, and I'm 6'3", and I would drive it to CSUN in Northridge to take my proctored exams to freaking pass college.
Hilarious. Let's go.
That's what brought me to LA.
That's a legit story, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
What
year was that? 2015.
2015. Yeah.
2015. Yeah.
I can see you in a suit on ESPN though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad keeps telling me, he's
Dude,
like,
I can see
you got to be the next Ryan Seacrest. That's really what my dad wants me to be.
Dad, no one watches American Idol anymore.
Well, he's a multi-talented. He's got a radio show. He did American Idol. He has like a morning show.
Dude, it's not a bad vision.
And I told him too. I'm like, yeah, Dad, when I'm older, but I want to fucking have fun right now. I'm in my 20s. I'm trying to host 20 TV shows.
Yeah, that's great. Great. That's a great story, man. The come up is real.
So what was like the breakthrough then? I mean, like, how'd you get out of living in Logan's closet?
Him and his brother started to hate each other, and Logan was like, Jake, get the fuck out of here. Because we had like 10 people living there at the time. It was me and Logan. That was his team, literally just us two. And then Jake was starting his Team 10 thing. So it was Jake. It was Alyssa Violet. It was...
That's when I met Jake.
Yeah.
Around that time.
You remember our apartment. There was like 10 people living in there.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So Logan was just kind of fed up with how dirty it was and like whatever, their brother beef. So he kicked Jake out. I moved into Jake's room. And then I started making skits because Logan... I think he was like filming a movie or some shit, and like he didn't have
airplane mode.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
And he was just like gone all the time, and I was like sitting there like, what the fuck am I doing, dude? Like he didn't need my help, and I was just sitting around. So I was like, I have access to all these like like
Cameras,
influencers, and I'm filming them. So I used to trade. I used to film for people like Amanda Cerny, for example, and then I was like, yeah, just tag me, and then like she would tag me and I wouldn't gain any followers. So I was like, all right, if I film your video, you have to put me in it for like a scene and tag me. So then I started to do that with like her, Hannah Stocking. Hannah Stocking's like one of the first people who really helped me out.
Really?
Yeah. So then I started to gain a bunch of followers, and I was like, all right, now if I film a video for you, you have to be in my video.
Yeah.
So then I started to like do that collaboration.
Yeah, it worked.
That's how it works. Yeah. I feel like that's kind of how it worked for you too, right?
Yeah, for sure. I remember the first time I collabed with Amanda Cerny. I literally one video, and then I go outside and I got recognized in public. It was hilarious.
What was the video?
I forget exactly what the video was, but it was just
Probably had
one
your shirt
skit.
off or some shit.
I think I had my shirt off. That sounds about right. And then one skit. The next day, I got recognized in public.
Hilarious. Dude, the power that building had back in the day was insane.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about it, everyone was down. What brought you to that building?
Wait, you were in that building too?
Mm-hmm.
No, you still live there.
Was this 1600 Vine?
1600, yeah.
Not to dox you.
So yeah, no, I don't. So basically, I was, I came out to make music, and that's what I was doing, and then I realized that people don't really care about new music from an independent artist. You know, maybe more so now. People are getting discovered with TikTok and your sounds, and you can really discover artists that way. But before that, it was like, all right, put a new song. You don't really get discovered that way unless you had a nice
reach,
label push or anything like that. So it wasn't until I started using my songs in different comedy videos that I would put out, because people are more inclined to share comedy. Everyone wants to be known for having a good sense of humor, right?
Yeah.
So even if they don't make comedy videos themselves, they want to make their friends laugh.
Right.
So if something makes them laugh, they're going to share it. And like, oh, I've got a great sense of humor. Let me share something that made me laugh with all these other people. You don't do that for a new song, really.
Right.
I mean, if you love a song, maybe you'll share it, but you're less inclined to, as opposed to like a funny video.
Yeah.
So I started incorporating my music in different comedy videos, because I was like, all right, I gotta throw some comedy in this, so to get exposure for my music. And when I did that, I started building up my own following online.
But why did you start making skits? Because if you came here to do music, is it because everybody was
why.
doing it?
Well, that's why I did it, with the intention of blowing up my music.
Was this before? Did you move in before everybody, or?
I moved in like 2015.
So right around the same time.
Right around the same time.
To 1600 Vine.
Mm-hmm.
Did you pick that building though? Because
when you first moved out here, I visited you on like Doheny.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's where I first lived in LA. Like I lived in a house with like probably 8 dudes in it as well. I was living in a in like a corridor.
Yeah.
And then same thing. Just trajectory going up, and I met Stro. Then we started doing videos together, and then started shooting with everyone. So
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, I feel like, starts at that. Like, yeah, you lived with 8 people. I lived on an air mattress.
What's your story? Real.
My story?
Yeah. Teague's got an interesting story. Unique.
You sleeping on an air mattress?
Dude, how much
homeless?
time? No.
It's different kind of come up.
Yeah, I had a different come up.
Different kind of come up, for sure.
I moved out here to go to USC. So I moved out in 2007.
For film?
No, for college. Just like, I studied business.
Okay.
Yeah, I studied business. And
you're from where again?
We're both from Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I started my first company when I was a sophomore in college. Yeah, it was a record label. That was pretty successful. But then I just kind of got
turned down Mac. What was it? Mac
Miller.
Mac Miller.
I didn't turn down Mac Miller.
Turn down Mac Miller. We just heard a story of him turning down
I didn't turn down Mac Miller, but I signed this kid named Sammy Adams, who was like,
I'm making up on sunset.
Yeah, that was a song with Mike Posner, I think, maybe. Yep. Anyway, I signed him. I started a record label and signed him.
What's that one song he did? Oh, dude, he's got some bangers.
He's got bangers,
anyways,
dude.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's funny. I actually flew in from New York last night, and I was on a 6-hour flight. And I just bought new Beats earbuds, so I threw them in, and like my Apple Music automatically opened up on my computer, and I had a Sammy Adams playlist.
Nice.
Listen to like 100 Sammy Adams songs.
Run through
like
it.
all the unreleased bangers.
Demos.
Diamonds up, bartender, pour the motherfucker stronger.
Let's go.
I wanna go all night long.
Hey.
Dude, he had bangers.
Yeah. So started that, and like our first album went #1, so it was making like millions of dollars in college, which was out of control.
Pretty good.
That's
and
wild.
then never signed another successful artist after him. I was telling the story on another episode where I could have signed Mac Miller, and he told me not to because like he wanted to be.
Sammy Adams told him not to.
Yeah, Sammy Adams told me not to sign Mac Miller.
Really?
Yeah, that was a heartbreak.
It was a heartbreak.
Why? Because of competition?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
just he didn't
like,
think he was good.
no, like he thought he wanted.
I'm
to be-
your only white boy rapper.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
that's
pretty much.
it.
Really,
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
After our first album went number 1, Jimmy Iovine invited me over to his house. You know who Jimmy Iovine is? Yeah. So he invited me over to his house for breakfast, and we're playing some of Sammy's songs, and Jimmy makes us an offer. On the cover of Sammy's first album, he was wearing Beats. This is 2010,
Yeah.
the first year that Beats came out. So he makes us an offer, and we turned it down. That's one of my biggest regrets.
What was the offer though? Like to buy you guys out or to?
Pretty much.
Yeah, okay.
Not to buy
Acquisition.
us out, but to like upstream our label like onto
So you'd be an
Interscope.
imprint almost.
Yeah, like we would have been
Yeah.
an imprint.
What was the offer
but
for?
what was the offer for?
Yeah.
Like how much?
Yeah.
I don't want to say how much it
I
was.
don't want to say how much.
It was,
Clearly not enough.
Yeah.
it was clearly not enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was clearly
true.
not enough. But like my site, like I come from a really good family, so like the number wasn't enough for me.
Yeah.
But Sammy didn't want to do it either. It was a joint decision. You never know like where his career could have gone if we would have signed that, right?
True.
We turned down a lot of offers. We eventually signed with Sony, but me and Sammy kind of were butting heads at that point. Anyway, I decided to get out of
Music.
the entertainment business, and that, like I said earlier, like now I'm in natural resources. I was like,
Yeah.
I need to go to something where like the talent doesn't, like what I'm investing in.
Doesn't have emotions.
Yeah, no, literally doesn't.
like
I
an
was
artist is
yeah,
rock.
I'm gonna invest in this rock.
Yeah. Figure that out.
Yeah,
I
so
think a
we're
lot of
like-
music managers deal with that too, because you spend so much time helping and crafting this artist's career for them to like, okay, bye. At some
Yeah.
point, or get in an argument,
yeah,
or
the
a feud,
mentality of
or the
the-
contract's
yeah.
not right, and they feel like they're getting screwed, or this or that, and it's like,
Or just generally like, what if the music's not good? Like,
Yeah,
what
that
if you go
too.
spend $1 million making an album and like he wants to change his like vibes and like,
style. It's like
yeah,
the-
style,
Yeah,
and the new album's like not as good, you know?
Yeah.
That's common though. Like I get inspired and I'll like hear a song on the radio and I'll go to the studio. I'm like, I want to make something like this, and then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, fuck, I like this song. I want to make something like this.
Yeah.
It's like
100%.
finding your sound is a very hard thing to do
Yeah.
in the music world.
True.
Anyway, that kind of wrapped up, and then in 2018, I started my new company, which is called EnergyX. It's a lithium company.
So just like sell batteries and stuff. or-
We actually started making the technology to extract lithium.
But how do you just go from managing Sammy Adams
Yeah,
to like,
yeah,
I'm gonna fucking get lithium?
I know.
It's a
How
wild-
do you even get into that?
I'm a-
Someone
I'm a-
inspire you?
Wild transition.
No, I took a trip to South America that inspired me. I was backpacking through South America, and I went to Bolivia, and we were traveling through one of the biggest salt flats in the world. And this salt flat happens to also be the world's largest lithium reserve,
Okay.
but Bolivia wasn't producing any lithium from it.
Okay.
And I'm just an entrepreneur. Like
Yeah.
when I started the record label, it wasn't because I like enjoyed
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
I actually don't really like music. Not to say I don't like music. I'm not passionate about music, right? The same way that say I'm passionate about sports, right? I love
Yeah.
sports, like you know. But yeah, I'm just an entrepreneur, and I saw a huge gap and a huge like.
there's a fly.
Yeah.
There is a fly there.
Yeah,
Mark's
big
not,
fly.
Mark doesn't just have a tick. That's like,
And yeah, so now I started this company, and we have 100 employees, and
Damn.
just got valued at over $1 billion.
You gonna sell to Jimmy Iovine?
I don't know if Jimmy Iovine can afford
Yeah, that makes
EnergyX, but
that's great.
but General Motors is our biggest investor. We have other like major oil and gas companies and materials companies that are investors. We're building or moving towards building massive lithium production plants. We just bought a 90,000 acre lithium mine in Chile.
That's gonna be
Pumped
great.
on that, yeah.
Who owned it? The Chilean government?
Yeah, like
No, like a Chilean entrepreneur.
just a homie.
So
Yeah.
as an entrepreneur though, when you go backpacking and like what in your mind, because like everything I see is a video, right? Like that's
He
just the
saw
way
an
my brain
opportunity.
is. Like even when we're talking on this podcast, I can
Yeah.
edit. Like I'm editing in my head. I know it'll do well.
Oh,
what
you can
won't
see
do
a
well.
skit right there.
See a
You can see
skit.
this.
Mhm.
As an entrepreneur, what do you see when you go to a fucking lithium salt flat and you're like, there's an opportunity?
He sees
here.
money.
Yeah, no, I mean, I as an entrepreneur, I see problems and solutions. Like, how can I solve this problem, or like, is there a problem, or what's the opportunity? And when I was down there, I've been driving a Tesla since 2013. So like, I actually bought a bunch of Tesla stock with some of the money that I made from the record label
Before the split 10 times.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, today my basis, I sold most of it. It would be $4 a share. I don't know what it's at now. I think it's like 200.
It's split though, like your basis. Okay,
my basis.
So like,
my
180 or something. Like
including all splits since 2013 would be $4 a share.
That's crazy. I mean, it got all the way up to like 2,200 a share, and then it split or something like that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He needs to go on Joe Rogan again and promote
so,
get that Tesla stock.
Yeah. So I've been driving this Tesla, right, and like love it, you know. But until 2018, and I was in this salt flat, I never really wondered where my battery like actually came from. But I knew they were called lithium-ion batteries, right? But I like literally didn't know anything else. And here I was standing in the world's largest lithium reserve, and I was like,
none of it was used.
I was like, well, but I was like, even if it was, I was like, we're gonna need a shitload more lithium. Like, if the electric vehicle revolution is going to happen, which I obviously believed in, and I had seen the growth for the past 5 years, like compounding, and then you see all these other automotive companies pledging to electrify. I thought that it was just an exponential curve, and that we were just going to need a lot more lithium, and that the way that we produced lithium was really inefficient. And then the world's largest lithium reserve wasn't producing any lithium because of whatever reasons, right? So that was the problem that I set out to solve. And there's been tremendous tailwind. Like,
but how do you start? How do you where's the starting point? Because your background is not in any lithium.
Selling records.
Dude, it's honestly,
hit up someone? Like,
it's the exact same way that you started.
Yeah.
You hit up the first person.
Yeah.
You know, like, you do the first thing, and then you do the second thing, and then the third thing. And the first person, I got back to the U.S. So I'm flying out of Bolivia, and like, it's the smallest airport. The terminal is like the size of this room.
Yeah.
And a private plane lands. And I'm like, and this guy gets off and people are saluting him. I'm like, that has to be the president of the fucking country. So I look it up, and it is, right? He's obviously going to see this like lithium thing. I was like, this has to be super important, like, for this country, and like, they're trying to do it, but they can't figure it out. Like, I'm gonna figure it out. So I go back and I hit up literally the only person that I knew in mining. Do you know anybody in mining? Like, exactly. I didn't know anybody.
I could probably find someone. In West Virginia.
I knew one guy that was actually a very successful serial entrepreneur, who's started many venture-backed companies in like technology, but he had just started this copper extraction company, which is now worth billions of dollars, but at the time, like, this is 2018. So I hit him up. His name's Andrew Perlman. And I said, hey, like, I have this idea on lithium. Like, I know you're doing copper. Like, let's talk about it. Or you want to partner with me? And he's like, well, like, the copper extraction I'm doing is from hard rock, like ores, and the lithium that you're talking about is from fluid, like brine, like salty water. So it's different. But I know this guy who's working on like water desalination. Like, you should talk to him. So now I'm talking to the second person, and then the third person, and then it's like, you just keep building and like just problem solving and talking to the next person. And like, I got lucky that now lithium is like, now lithium is sexy, so to say, right? Like, everybody knows about lithium. Not many people knew about lithium back then.
Right.
Yeah.
But you just had like smart cars and shit.
Yeah. So I'm 6 years in, and it's a grind, dude. It's still 18-hour days. Like,
I think it's also in the beginning just having the courage to really lean in and follow your intuition. Yeah. Because you're there, you see this, or you're there in Ohio, you're looking for this opportunity, but if you don't follow your gut instinct, then that never happens, right? You can't take that next step or call that person, or unless you have that courage, just go and do it and believe in yourself.
And like, we can do anything we set our minds to. Like, I didn't know, like, when we met, whenever that was, like I hadn't even started this company and didn't know the first thing about lithium.
Yeah.
Now I run like arguably one of the leading lithium technology companies in the world. Like it's just crazy to think about.
Were there moments in time where you felt like, fuck, this is too hard? Or did everything kind of flow?
Not, fuck, this is too hard. Like never, this is too hard. But we came one payroll away from going bankrupt. It's like very, very reminiscent of Elon's kind of story. But like, yeah, dude, like I had to sell my house to put in $1 million to keep the company going.
Yep.
And
what makes you do that? Because if you're on the verge of bankruptcy, it's failing essentially, right?
We were like 4 months away from closing the GM deal, our Series B.
Got it. Okay.
And that brought in $50 million, and I just had to bridge just a little bit longer.
Yeah, you said
and I knew it was coming. Like I knew I was going to close, but they wanted me to do this and this and this. And like, there's a chance it wouldn't have. You know?
Right.
There's a chance it wouldn't.
It's
have.
not
like,
done until the money's in the bank.
Dude, it's not done.
Did they give you just one fat check for 50 mil?
It was an accumulation. They were the lead investors.
Okay.
And then they needed me to like close other money and get other investors. And like, that was hard, dude. Raising money at that level is hard, but like anything is hard. Like you're raising your seed round right now. Like that's fucking hard.
Yeah, it's the first money in basically, and everyone's like, oh.
What I learned is it's the equal amount of hardness every level. Like the next round we're raising is like mind-boggling, like hundreds of millions. And it's
why do you need to keep raising money if you're worth $1 billion?
The company is valued at that. But we're going and building multi-$100-million plants to produce
upscaling.
Yeah. So like we're building demonstration plants right now that can produce, you know, a good amount, but each demonstration plant costs like 10 to 15 million bucks. But that can only produce 50 tons of lithium. But that's like the validation, the last stage before you go build a commercial plant. To build a commercial plant, we're looking at like 700-800 million bucks.
Jesus.
Now, a lot of that is debt, but you need to go raise equity. So I have to go raise that much money to go do it.
Yeah, you never would have thought that in 2018 when you guys were hanging like, okay, you're going to do this. You never know what can really happen on your journey. And what I've heard is we tend to overestimate what we can accomplish in a year, but underestimate what we can really do in 5 years if you put that foot in front of the other and never stop, right? So
since you're tied up with the lithium stuff and you saw the gap in the market then, I'm not really tied up in anything. Where's the gap now that I can get?
Dude.
Is it AI?
What other opportunities?
It is. So what I did was my dad came to me, and this is like in between the record label stuff. Like the record label was dying, and like I'd made some investments, but I wasn't like operating anything. And he goes, Teague, write down your 5 passions and the 5 industries that you think are going to be the biggest industries in the next 20 to 40 years. So my passions were sports. Like I love sports, watching sports, playing sports. I love fitness, like working out. I love space. I love, like one of them was energy transition because I was a huge fan of Tesla. And then my 5th was design. I love like architecture and like drawing and paint, just anything with design. And then my 5 industries were space, renewable energy, AI, synthetic biology, and blockchain. So the 2 that overlapped there were space and renewable energy. That was fall of 2017. And then for New Year's of 2018, I went down to South America and was on this trip. And like,
so you were looking for it, actually, kind of.
When I did that like 5 and 5 exercise, I didn't like write down like these are all my business ideas. Like I did it and like had like a framework, and then it was kind of like
a good
spontaneous
mindset to have when you're thinking about. I never heard that.
I took this trip and just like it was right there. I was like, this is it. Like lithium is like what I'm going to focus the next however many years of my career on. So for you, you know, obviously you got to do something you're passionate about, right? Like people laugh at that, but like it's so true, you know? Like if you're going to spend, you know, it depends how ambitious you are. Like I think that Energy X can become a 50, 100, like my ambitions are to turn it into a $100 billion company. Not many people have that type of ambition. Like I work 18 hours a day on it, right? But so you have to do something you're passionate about if you're going to work 18 hours a day on it, right? But AI is obviously, you know, I did this 5 and 5 thing back in 2017, and artificial intelligence was one of the things. And look at where we are today.
That's
right.
wild.
So
Yeah,
like 6 years later, how far it's come, right? So I think that there's a meme out there, like with NVIDIA, and it's like the shovel stand. Have you seen that? And like Facebook, Meta, Google,
just
all have their
skyrocketed.
shovels over, and it's like, that's the shovels. You know, I think that data centers for AI are going to be huge. You know what I was thinking about the other day? Like all these AI companies that are building large language models are scraping the internet for like whatever it is, and like essentially stealing other people's information. I think Wikipedia is one of the biggest opportunities. And right now it's a nonprofit and they don't make any money. They just rely on donations.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know how.
Who's donating to Wikipedia?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how, but like monetizing Wikipedia is just an immense opportunity. And then Wikipedia is the 5th most visited website in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. If you type in anybody's name, that's the first thing that comes up. Their Wikipedia.
True.
I can't remember how many impressions a day. It's like 9 billion.
That's crazy.
Impressions, maybe, something like that. Google's obviously number 1.
Honestly, I feel like TikTok is gonna also get in that category because the new generation, like my ex-girlfriend was only a few years younger than me, but
search everything on
dude,
TikTok.
I'd be like, hey, want to eat carbonara tonight? She's like, yeah, let me get a recipe. TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I don't even
new
know if
restaurant.
TikTok's counted in that because that's like web searches, but like people just go to the app.
True. Interesting.
AI is so powerful, dude.
Yep.
So that
I'm getting my brain moving here.
the next thing that I really want to focus on is nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion is going to be massive.
Yeah, man, it's sick.
I'm focusing on I'm focusing on like an emo trap type beat.
Yeah, I know nothing about it right now either. But I'll come back to this in 6 years. Like, you know, it's because that is picks and shovels too. Like powering the data centers and powering AI is going to have to it's requiring so much energy to power it.
It's not sustainable for the growth that we
Dude, it's not. It's not. AI won't be able to grow without a new immense power source. So whether it's nuclear fission or fusion, like that's only that. So Sam Altman, you know who that is, right?
The Altman brothers?
No. Sam Altman is the CEO of OpenAI.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Altman brothers is like those realtor guys.
Yeah. He's the CEO. So he started, or was the president of Y Combinator, at like incubator in SF that has like all the top companies come through, and he's the founder or co-founder of OpenAI with a bunch of people. Elon was, but he left.
I heard he got fired and then
Elon?
came back. No,
Sam Altman. He did.
So
so he's the CEO, and I don't know. I think he's worth probably $1 billion, but he is the largest investor and chairman of Helion, which is the leaders in fusion. Fusion hasn't been commercialized yet, but like he realizes that the only way that he's going to be able to grow artificial intelligence is with some power source that doesn't exist today. So he's investing heavily into nuclear, and he's the chairman of Helion, the fusion company that I think is best in class. And then he also just took public Oklo through his SPAC, which is a nuclear fission company. So the difference, if
fission and fusion.
Yeah. So fission.
I remember from my science class.
Fission is where you merge 2 atoms together. Sorry, fusion. Fusion is where you merge 2 atoms together, and that's what happens in the sun. And that is the more energy that creates more energy. Fission is where you pull them apart, which also creates a shitload of energy. That also creates nuclear waste, which is dangerous.
Don't want that.
Yeah. But kind of the new thing is these small modular nuclear reactors called SMRs. So it's like you could power like, you know, big neighborhoods with like a little like fusion thing.
Iron Man shit.
Or fission thing. Yeah.
That's it.
Nuclear is like
A lot of knowledge here.
What's also wild just to think about is like, okay, that's where we're wrapping our heads around right now. But if you go back to, I don't know, like the 80s, you can never imagine, you can't even really conceptualize your phone, right? And how important it is. We're always connected. So what do we have in 20 years from now that we can't even think of yet?
It's crazy
right?
that someone can invent something like a phone and
So
now you
different.
can't
And
live
now-
without it.
Can't live without
We lived
it.
so long without it and now you can't.
So
live
whether it's a
without it.
power source, which is gonna be crazy that we can't imagine really now on a massive scale, or it's something else we can't even think of right now.
Right.
It's like, who knows? Like,
You need to do
okay,
some
you don't need
ayahuasca
food
or
anymore, people.
something.
You just plug in at night, and there's no night anymore because you
Elon's brain chips, dude.
You literally
That
just
shit's scary too,
do
though.
this, and now you don't need sleep or food or anything because your power source is this. It's like, who knows what it's gonna be, but we can't even think about it.
People can think about it. It's like the Matrix, dude. Like, think about if there's a billion humanoid Optimus robots.
Yeah,
And you have your fucking Neuralink brain chip.
yeah, that's gonna happen.
And robots somehow take over those brain chips. And then we all end up in little pods like the Matrix.
Definitely Matrix vibes. Yeah, we'll see.
I don't think we'll be around. Hopefully not.
Yo, dude. It was great having you on.
Thank you for having
We're,
me.
we could talk for a while longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, honored to have someone with 108 episodes of their own podcast. That's definitely
Yeah.
extraordinary.
Most podcasts fail after
700
7
vlogs.
episodes.
Really?
Yeah, so keep it going.
That's it.
What number is this for us?
I think this is 16.
16?
There you go.
Yeah, we're getting there.
21 is top 1%.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
according to Hermosi.
Oh yeah, you're top.
Yeah, you're
There
top
you go.
dog,
Yeah,
dude.
108 is
Just keep
wild.
doing it. Keep
Yeah.
putting stuff out.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks
we gotta
for
have
having
you
me,
back.
guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.